Hello, welcome to another video on understanding insurance claims. Today we're going to be looking at a subject that a lot of times has come up over the years that I worked as an insurance automobile adjuster, over 30 years in fact. And I found in a lot of cases with clear-cut liability, say I'm handling an insurance claim for one of our insureds and our insured was driving negligently and someone had stopped in front of them at a stoplight and our insured, for whatever reason, plowed into the rear of this individual. Had nothing to do with any defect in their automobile, but simply that they hit them, maybe they were distracted or whatever, and they hit the rear of this other automobile and someone in the other automobile was injured. It may be seriously or may not be so serious. So what is the best option for the person who's injured when there's no question about liability? Do they need to go to an attorney and pay them perhaps 25 to 35% of the recovery? Or do they need to try to let the insurance company work out a settlement with them based on the fact that there's no question as to the fact that their insured was responsible for the accident? In every state in the Union, you have at least 1 year from the date of the accident to the time that what we call the statute of limitations. You have 1 year from the accident until the time when you must either settle the case or file a lawsuit. In some states it's 2 years, some states it's more, but every state is at least 1 year. So you have 1 year to receive your medical treatment and to see if you're going to recover without any disability or things of that nature. So I would say ordinarily it's best not to hire an attorney, but this is still up to the individual as to what they want to do. Those cases now that are more complex, there's a severe disagreement and confusion about liability, also whether or not this person is injured and to what extent they're injured. Perhaps they have lifelong disability as a result of this accident. Then those cases probably need the input of an attorney. Excuse me. In a lot of cases, however, attorneys are hired to handle a case when maybe the only thing that is needed is that the individual who's injured needs some information, some legal advice. They can go to an attorney and pay them for maybe an hour for them to review all of their medical records and the police report, or else they may need to go back for 2 or 3 times. That may be more economical to the injured party than it is to maybe sign a contract where they have to give 25 to 35% of the recovery to this individual. Say after the medical treatments are taken out, you have a claim that's worth $10,000. Well, had you rather give $2,500 to $3,000 to an attorney, or had you rather hire someone, whether it's an attorney or just an experienced person, hire them and maybe pay $500 for their information as to what your claim is worth? That's a decision each individual has to make. But in most cases, the vast majority of cases do not go to trial. They're simply are too routine. They do not require going to trial. In fact, I would say over the years that I handled automobile insurance injury cases, probably less than 10% ever went to trial. Now, you did have to talk to the attorney, you did have to negotiate the claim. In many cases, you only deal with a paralegal, someone in the office who's not an attorney, but they are experienced at negotiating with an insurance adjuster. Typically, the attorney or his office is going to ask, and they are going to acquire the police report, if any medical bills, any medical reports, all the information, any wage loss from the person's employer, things of that nature. And then they're going to negotiate with the adjuster. In those cases that are clear, it may be that you only need to talk to this person once or twice, and they can tell you, well, based on their experience, this claim should settle for this amount of money. Okay, if you can get that amount of money from your adjuster and it appears to be a reasonable settlement, every case, the value of each case is very subjective. The bottom line is it's worth what you're willing to take and what the insurance company is willing to pay. It has no other value. So if you can get what you think is a reasonable amount, then why would you want to pay someone else to handle the case and maybe do some routine work on it? Basically, they will call the adjuster a few times, send out a letter of representation, and so forth, when you can get that amount of money and your expenditures will be much less. Again, I am not an attorney. I do not practice law. I'm just giving you the benefit of what I have, the conclusions and opinions that I have developed over a period of years. Still, it's up to the individual to make that decision. But by and large, most cases do not require the intervention of a plaintiff attorney. Someone who has to be hired, and then they sign you as the injured party sign a contract, and then there's a long negotiation. I have found over the years, in most cases, insurance claims are delayed once an attorney is involved, because the insurance companies, they are determined not to pay any more than what the claim is worth, and the attorney that the person hires may feel that it's to their best interest to keep trying to get a little more or whatever. So in most cases, you're not going to recover as much as you would if you had dealt strictly and straightforward with the insurance company on those cases that do not require a lot of legal filings to be made and do not, there's no question about liability. But still, this is up to the individual to make that decision. But I have just found that in many cases, it's an extra expense that an individual does not need to incur. But again, that's up to you. But in any event, it's something to think about. And I'll be doing some more videos along this line. And in fact, I'll be doing some case scenarios. I'll be presenting facts as to what type of accidents happened, what type of injuries were incurred, what your medical expenses were, and kind of giving people an idea as to what this particular claim is worth. What can they reasonably expect to get from the insurance company? But I'll be doing those in other videos. Again, I ask you, if you like this video, I ask you to hit the subscribe button and be looking for a lot more videos along this line. And again, I appreciate your time and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.